Ultimate elevations, peace and strength be upon you. May every negative energy and entity around you be rebuked out of your habitat and your environment. My friends, straight to the point. Topic of today is this: you're not crazy. Amen. You're not crazy, my friends, and we're going to get into it. All right. This is all about your mental, because I got to make sure that's just as strong as your spirit. We're going to get into it, man. We're coming out of 1 Corinthians, and we're coming chapter 2, 14. And he says right here, but the natural man does not receive the things of the Spirit of God. Okay, my friends, when I tell you the things that you're seeing are for a purpose, okay? And when you're receiving something spiritually, God wanted you to see that, all right? You're not crazy, but the way that you're acting is making you seem that way. And that's why you have to remain calm. You can't forget this, my friends. You have spiritual gifts. Glory be unto the Lord. And this is why this is why I'm explaining this to you right now, because a lot of people were trying to keep me blind to that. And I think a lot of people need to see past the veil, just like that servant of that prophet. You're a great asset unto the Lord. And you're dwelling in a world full of his adversaries, full of people that renounce the Lord. Amen. That don't give him credit, don't want to be attached to him. They don't see the purpose. But you have to understand, you're not of their nature. You're a spiritual natural. You're a supernatural. Are you following what I'm saying? So when you see things happening and you respond in a certain way towards something, glory be unto the Lord, they're going to try to make you seem like the crazy one. And what I'm telling you today is you're not crazy, but how you're acting is crazy, because the world doesn't interpret supernatural. They don't interpret spiritual. Are you understand what I'm saying? And you're a spiritual thing. They're a human being. They were made by God, but their mannerisms are of this earth. You're in this earth. You're not from this earth. Are you understand what I'm saying? Glory be unto the Lord. So they're not going to take you with the embracement that you think they should. They're not going to pay you homage like they would pay somebody of their own traditions and makeup. Do you see what I'm saying? So how you're acting is crazy. So that's why they get to play the victim. That's why even though you're telling the truth, the multitude won't accept it because of how you're acting on that truth. You feel me? That's why God tells us we have to remain calm. Amen. Like, yes, we're like, oh, that pissed me off, bro, and da-da-da. But you got to remain calm. You got to remain calm. You see them for what they truly are in spirit. Amen. The world doesn't. Glory be unto the Lord. If you ever watch National Geographics, it could be this beautiful animal or creature or little amphibian, right? Frogs, beautiful, but it's the most poisonous. The most poisonous. And in this world, because it's based off of imagery, they don't see the poison. You do. So when you're acting a certain way, you look crazy. But I'm telling you, you're not. It's just how you're reacting to it. Just like if you're not afraid of a roach and somebody's like, and you're like, calm down. My friends, no disrespect to you, but calm down. Amen. The angels are aware. God is aware. Amen. The other true chosen, true worshipers, they're aware. But how are they reacting in a world that doesn't want them to react that way? They're just, okay, I'm going to acknowledge it, dust my hands and feet, and go about my way. I try to tell people this all the time. You're helping them slay you down when you act like that. And see, they want you to act like that. They purposely do that and then hide their hand purposely. No, they did it. They did it. Don't act like that, my friend. Just peep it. Build up that case like the Father does. This is why I love the word, my friends, and that's why I'm here to help you, my friends. We have to do it like the Father does. Amen? That's what Christ was trying to explain. If I just came and did whatever I wanted to do, the Father, vengeance, wrath, fury, cannot come to do what they have to do with the legions of angels. No, I'm just taking tallies. I'm just marking it up. What did God say about Sodom and Gomorrah, my friends? He said their wickedness has reached the heavens. What they did, it reached the heavens. Glory be unto the Lord. As on earth as it is in heaven, my friends. That's what gave me a great energy of calmness. Oh, God peeped that way before I seen that. Say that with me. God peeped that way before I seen that. I pray this is helping you heal in this very moment and understanding what I'm trying to tell you. My friends, I used to look crazy as hell. You know what I'm saying? When I used to just get aggressive and get irate and get angry at the things that I was seeing, and everybody else like, what are you talking about? And I look at that person, they look so innocent. And then I look at my image and I say, okay, you know, when I go back to my after action reviews, I go back and I'm just like, I played into the hand of the devil. Amen. And I had to have integrity, my friends. And I say, you got that one. I'm real. And I'm telling you to be real too. You got to be real with that devil. You got that one. But I'm coming back with the Father. Amen. Never be afraid, my friends, to come back with the Father. Amen. Glory be unto the Lord. And when I say come back with the Father, I'm talking about that knowledge and that wisdom. Be wise as a serpent, gentle as a dove. Glory be unto the Lord. And I didn't understand it. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What happened in the beginning, Davery? That's what the Father explained to me. I said, what do you mean? What happened in the beginning, Davery? Did I give Adam and Eve sight of nature to be of this world? Or did I blind them to the point that they didn't even know they were naked? And I said, And he said, who came in and talked to them and exposed it? And in my spirit, in response, I said, the snake. He said, exactly. So be wise like the snake. Amen. The snake was very wise. When are they trying to attack us, my friends? When they perceive that the Lord is not looking. See, God has to do great things for us. And he leaves us around our angels. And that's why we have to stay in our supernatural spirit to keep ourselves contained so we're not playing the snakeful games. It's a mind thing. Amen? And if the devil could have your mind, he could control the body. Keep your mind on the Lord. And I minded that. Be gentle as a dove, wise as a serpent. Be wise as a serpent, gentle as a dove. So when I went back down into my meditation, I said, wow, hear me out. You're looking demonic, even though you're not demonic. See, you have to understand, what did they do with Christ? They made him seem like he was a devil. Reel it in, my friends. I'm helping you heal. You have to understand you were sent here with a purpose. They don't want that purpose. So they're going to try to make everything look like an accident. And they're going to try to get you to flip more than just a table. They're going to try to get you to be irate and angry and whatever. Y'all want me to be a monster? That's what they're trying to create you to be, even though you're an angel. You have to remain an angel. You have to live in that truth, that wisdom. Glory be on, wise as a serpent. The serpent had more wisdom than Adam and Eve. And that's why God held them towards his wisdom. See, the devils, what do we say they are? Cunning, right? That's still a level of wisdom. But we're wise because our understanding comes from the Lord that is standing next to us. Don't be afraid. Be not dismayed. And when you're acting like that, my friends, it makes it seem, even though you're not, it makes it seem like you're afraid. Like you don't trust the Lord is going to handle that. Like you don't think God's seen that. Do you see what I'm saying? You have to remain calm. Say it in the comments right now. I shall remain calm when I see the chaos. I shall remain calm when I see the calamity. I shall remain calm when I find the Judas. The first thing we want to do is try to fight it, my friends. Listen, the battle is not ours. It's the Lord's. And the biggest thing that I was taught growing up is that you have to fight for what's yours. No, you don't. I'm here to tell you today, you don't have to fight for what's yours. You have to ask for what's yours. If you was a toddler and you wanted your sippy cup and you smacking your mama ankle or her little calf or her thigh, you think she's going to give it to you? No, ma'am, no, sir. She's going to pop you in your mouth. And that's how we lose the war. It's because we're fighting for something that's already ours. No, we need to ask for it. Did Christ fight? No. He said, Satan, get behind me. Devil, come up out of them and shut up. Glory be unto the Lord. Because he already knew I don't have to fight for this world because I already died for this world. And when God was explaining that to me, I had to slap myself. And I pray that you slap yourself too. You're a supernatural, chosen, anointed person. Your mind is so unique, and the devils despise that. The serpents don't like that you're wiser and you can be gentle. They have to be aggressive. Are you understand what I'm saying? They have to be aggressive. And that's what the devil wants us to do, my friends. And that's what the devil's trying to get you to do, is reflect them, because they don't want to reflect you. They want to make you the reflected, not the reflector. Glory be unto the Lord. Are you understand what I'm saying? They want you to mimic them. So when the world looks at you, they're going to be like, yeah, I could believe that. And you know what helps them is that you do this in your mind. You still remember the old times. Do you remember the times? No, I don't. And that's why you need to pray to the Lord. Make me anew. A level of anew that makes me forget the former things like you're asking me to. See, God is telling us mentally, forget the former things. That's no longer you. That was never supposed to be you. But the world that you dwelled in persuaded you to accept that image. Are you understand what I'm saying? So when you're, nobody understands me, bro, and da-da-da-da-da, they're not meant to understand you. But God, who stands next to you, will literally bring you around people that follow him just like you do, and they will understand you to a level where you can just communicate it in a gentle, calm way, and they will be like, yeah. My friends, you're dwelling amongst devils, okay? Even though they don't look like it. But you can't act devilish and expect the world to say that they're the problem when they're just sitting there like this. See, that's why the Pharisees sent other people that can take the blame. That's why they sent Judas. And that's why they persuaded the people, because they had an image. Be wise. You have a heart that image cannot mimic. Glory be on. You have a spirit that image cannot mimic. You have patience. No, Black, I'm losing my patience. So ask God for some more. That's what I did. There was times, my friends, where I wanted to resort to but I just remember everything that I was taught spiritually. That's not the way to act. Not right now. There's a time and a purpose, my friends. Trust and believe it. Trust and believe it. There's a time and a purpose. And I became wise in that. And that's where I came up with nothing lasts forever. And anytime that I felt I'm about to explode, I'm about to get irate, I'm about to lose my patience, that spirit within that spirit, there's a time for everything, Debbie. And nothing lasts forever. Do you really want to act demonic in front of these demonic people who are going to use your image and how you're acting right now to clarify that you're Beelzebub? See, that's why Christ remained calm. Even though he was troubled in his spirit. My friends, you're troubled in your spirit because you're seeing things and you're trying to evident it to the world that is a part of it, that yields it, that grows it, that eats with it. And you're one of the few. Are you understand what I'm saying? Stop talking to a world that is not part of your super nature. Are you understand what I'm saying? It's gonna make you look crazy. But you're not. This is ridiculous, right? But we have the authority. But we have to live in that authority righteously. Amen? You have to remember the Lord and his acceptable year and his perfect timing. Once again, Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Sodom and Gomorrah. But there was a certain time. Amen? Glory be on. And if God has already written it to be, and it happened in the spirit before it happened here on earth where you dwell in the flesh, but are still a component and companion of the spiritual nature, leave it alone until God allows you to do what you got to do. You can't just jump at the snake. It might bite you. You got to wait for that moment, right? Okay. And that's all you have to do is wait for that moment. But don't mess up that moment or prolong that moment by acting a certain way. Amen? Are you understand what I'm saying? And that's what I was understanding about myself mentally, is that because my mental is weak, so is my spirit. And I have to learn how to let things go. And I had to go back to that child that dwelt amongst the heathens that I grew up with, my brothers who used to pick up on me, right? But I went back into that mindset and was like, I'm just going to treat it like that. They may pick up on me, but I know they're going to have to stop before 5:30 because that's when daddy get home. Amen? Are you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to tally it up. And I'm going to wait till my dad get in his house, and then I'm going to tell him everything that they did, and I'm going to let him go be my vengeance. Are you understand what I'm saying? It's okay to find those checkpoints where you was the calmest and then become that spirit. Become that great thing. If things are getting too hot and boiling over for you, take a walk. Glory beyond, stay calm. Peep it, but don't expose it. It's going to expose itself. Because when you don't act that way, the devil that it is will start to act that way. And when they start to forget the plan and start to shoot from the hip, I was trying to find the right word, they're going to give you receipts. You know what I'm saying? If you don't change, they're going to give you a receipt in some type of way. And I'm giving you the gems. I'm giving you the gems. And they're going to start staying away from you. They're going to leave you alone because they know they effed up spiritually. Are you understand what I'm saying? They may not effed up in the flesh, but they know spiritually they gave you what you needed as evidence. And now you can carry on. And see, they didn't know they did that with Christ, my friend. They didn't know that they exposed their fruits. See, they were trying to get the people to persuade the judges and governors, whoever, to crucify Christ. But they needed their words to be instilled. That's all Christ needed. You understand what I'm saying? See, you just need to act a certain way in front of the Lord to get them to speak a certain way in front of the Lord, and then God could get them drowned. Amen? God could slay them down. Amen? You're not crazy, but how you're acting is crazy. You are the one that God's coming to and saying, how should you act as my child? Did I not say I will defeat your enemies? Did I not say that I will make them your footstool? Okay. So let me move the furniture. You don't need to move the furniture. I'm still going to get you out of that bind, but help me out by keeping yourself loosened. Amen? Can you say amen to that? I know they're aggravating you. I know you're tired of it, but let God put it to sleep. Amen? Just believe. That's all God's asking you to do, is believe that I seen it. I've dealt with it, and I've written what's going to take them out and write them out and blot them out. Glory be unto the Lord. You don't have to act any type of way other than how Christ acted. Mentally, I know what's up. My friends, you read the good book. You know what's up. You're chosen, sanctified, put apart for the best part, for the greatest portion. You don't have to divide yourself away from that because these people are mad because they can't be equal to you. So they want you to take a few steps down to become equal to them. Don't put yourself through hell and high water, my friends. Don't seem crazy. Don't act crazy. Act accordingly. Amen. So now when you become nonchalant and you stay calm and you just start to slowly step away, so vengeance could come in with that bar stool and bat them across their head, then, you feel what I'm saying, that'll knock the demon out of them. But you acting crazy because you're seeing spiritually things that are relevant to you, and you're like, oh, people are playing mind games with me. Yes. Yes. Truth. I'm here to tell you, they are. It's a mind game. Amen? Play the game, my friends. And the only thing you have to do is be wise as a serpent, gentle as a dove, ask and receive. Glory be unto the Lord. That's how you win the war. What did he say? Take the helmet of salvation. I took it. Take the sword of the Spirit, which is the word. We have it. You don't have to become hostile or havocal. You don't have to deal with those things that God is not about to be hospitable to. He's going to spit at them. And his spit and his breath alone is going to do them a great damage. But don't damage your character. Don't damage your attributes. Don't damage your greatness that God treasures playing with the treacherous. But it is a mind game. Amen? And you're in control. What did Christ tell you, my friends? And I'm here to repeat it. You have authority. Glory be unto the Lord. Oh, you understand what I'm saying? You are supposed to prevail and will prevail and shall prevail over darkness. And when I took that into my heart, I prevail over it. If darkness is coming, it's because the sun is about to rise. Glory be unto the Lord. The blessings are about to drop. Glory be unto the Lord. That's the only reason that the devil start coming up. That's why they're picking at you, because God picked you to be the one to prosper. Just relax. It's only for a moment in time, my friends. You serve the living God. You're not crazy. It's really a mind game. But no, Black, you got to understand, sometimes I'll be saying this, and then the next minute this happens, and it just drives me crazy. Okay, don't let it drive you crazy. Keep both hands on that wheel and steer clear. Amen. When you start to feel that anxiety build up, breathe. I'm in control. When you start feeling that stress, breathe. I'm in control. You only had a moment in time. That moment is over. There's nothing wrong with praying over yourself, my friends. Yes, they're trying to prey on you. Amen. Yes, those devils like to play in your playground. Amen. But that doesn't mean you got to flee to the point where you got to stomp your feet and beat yourself up and, I'm sucking it. No, you don't do that. You feel what I'm saying? Don't act crazy. Just move away from the craziness. That's the reason why you acting crazy, because you're around the craziness. Move yourself, my friends. It's a mental game. You're always going to win. You're always going to gain the blessings. You ain't got to gamble your life. You are the life that they're betting against. Put the dice down. Pick them hands up. Let God have his way. Walk away. Amen. And along the way, you're going to see everything that makes sense to you. If it's crazy to you, leave it to the craziness and get with the things that make sense to you. That heavenly sense, that fragrance that's going to let you know you're favored, my friends. Amen. You're favored, my friends. Say it with me. I'm favored. Glory be unto the Lord. And I'm healing inside that favor. Say that. And I'm becoming strong in that favor. Say that. And I'm overcoming everything that doesn't like to see me be favored. Say that. Glory be unto the Lord. You're not crazy. So stop acting like it. Glory be unto the Lord. It makes sense. You peep what you peep, but continue to frolic towards your pastures of peace. Okay? All right, my friends. I'll see you again, but I love you. Not with a regular love, with a Christ one.